Hey everyone, today I'm sharing with you some Christmas in July ideas for things that you can get started on now before the Christmas hustle and bustle gets here, but they're going to be things that you're probably going to want to add to some of your Christmas projects. So if we get started now, we put them in a special container that we can remember where we put them, they will be handy and ready for us to use soon. So today we are focusing on things that we can make with our paper clips and things that we can use to put in our journals, in our albums, in any of our little projects, even in cards and stuff. I have this journal right here and I'm showing you the three that I have made. First one here, I have a clip and I have done this double-sided. The paper clip that I've used in all these projects is just a silver one that is about 1 3/4 in length, not quite 2 inches. The ones I have are silver. I am on the lookout for some gold, but right now the silver is what was handy for me to get what I had already. And so I've got this paper clip here and I'm going to show you how I've gone about making this. But if I have some kind of book or journal, it's just easy to clip that on, and then you've got the cute little image popping out over the top in both directions. So I really like that. I like to have that. It's great to use in planners as well. You could make it if you wanted to, depending on the direction of the image. You could put it on the side and poke out however you wanted it. We're going to make one of these, but first let me show you all three of these. So the second one that I made is more of a banner style on the clip, and it is double-sided with respect to this banner, and then it's just layered with some different little Christmas images. Now the way I have lined this up, it's going to make this really more of a clip that would come in on the left-hand side of the paper, and you would just slide it on, and then you've got your clip. And if you have little things that you want to clip in behind it, you can do that. That's, you know, an object or way that you can utilize this. So I've got this here. This is a cute little thing too, isn't it? I will step through this booklet one day, but now we're doing all of our little paper clip images. So this is the second one we're going to look at making. The third clip that I'm going to show you today, I have just attached some little charms, some little bell beads. And I got these beads at Hobby Lobby. I was just in Hobby Lobby today and they have their Christmas stuff they're starting to put out, and these are there. I'm going to show you a couple of other ones also on the one that we're going to make together on the video. But as that last clip slides in from the left, this one is set up to slide in from the right. So depending on your beads, you may have to be kind of careful placing these on here and getting them to slide so that you don't rip the paper and that you have room for everything. But once you get it in place, then you can just line everything up. And isn't that cute? Now, of course, when you close, you're going to have a little bit of a bump there. But to me, that's a great thing about junk journals and stuff, having those different layered things. But that's great. And then again, if you have something that, let's say you have an image that we want to put in here, we just slide that in and you can line up your charms, the bells, whatever it may be. And that just gives it just a cute little display there. I love that. So that's the third one we're going to look at today. Grab up some clips and let's get started. You're going to need some things, any of your little Christmas decorations that you've got, stickers, little printables, paper, any kind of little images, any little charms, that sort of thing. So I'm going to pick out a clip to get started, and then I'm going to show you how to make this. If you've got all of your supplies out, and one other thing you might want to do if you're crafting along with me today is get your hot glue plugged in and ready to go. So I have some little printable images that I got. I believe I got these from Creative Fabrica. I'm going to try to put the links to everything below. These were some little images that I thought were so cute, and they are in rectangular form like this. And so I think what I've decided when I've been looking at this earlier is I was going to try to go with this blue theme on this next one. The little snowman here, Merry Christmas. And then I'm also going to use this, May Your Christmas Be Merry. And so I'm going to just get started by trimming those out. Of course, I could use my paper trimmer, but I'm just going to go with my trusty scissors here. I printed these images out last season and didn't use them all. Now I need these for this next idea. So I've got both of these cut out, and when I do these back to back, they are really pretty close. But it's going to be important that they don't really have much hanging off. I'm going to trim this a little bit to line it up as close to each other as I can. Since they're going to be back to back, it's going to be important that we really don't have anything hanging over the edges. Now the way we can fix that though is going to be with inking. And so I might do a little bit of inking because that even helps as we've glued pieces together, just to get that whiteness of that paper out of the way. So we'll probably do that as well. This project is so easy now. I want to take my clip. We want to make sure that we're working on the right end. So down here on this part of the clip, this is what's going to clip onto the page. And so up here we can work to a level. We don't want to cover up too much because then we lose the functionality of the paper clip. I'm going to make use of my Tombow liquid glue. And really what I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure I've got my paper up in the right direction. And I'm just going to place my paper clip right about here, I'll say. And I'm going to put a little bit of glue around the clip itself. Kind of line that up. And then we've got our piece we will put on top. And just really try to line those up the best we can. And I love to use my Stampin' Blocks to place on top, and we'll let that dry for a bit. I think our clip has had enough time to dry, enough time for us to get started on it some more. The pieces are pretty much together. We could hold it down a little bit more here on the end just to make sure. But one of the things I like to do with this is I like to go around sometime with the ink just because of the white edges. Because blue is the main color in this, I'm just going to kind of go around with this blue. A lot of times I'm going to use an antique brown color, but we're going to go with the blue today. Just kind of blends in with everything. And this particular printable already has a little bit of the brown on the side, so it looks okay as well. And we can see our clip through here. Over time that does tend to dry and you're not able to really see the outline that much. It doesn't make that much of a difference. It is still a little damp, but I wanted to get it going started with you. So here are some other little embellishments that I've picked up as options of things. I don't know if I want to go with the dark green holly with this particular one that we have. I think I want to stay more with the blue and the white. So I'm going to move that out of the way for another project. I have these little shiny snowflakes, and then these that have a little bit of thickness to them, the blue and the white. We've also got white and silver there, and then this little tree I thought might be an option. It's got a little thickness. It is a little bit of a glittery. So let's take a look when we're looking at our colors and try to pick out what we think will go best. I just like to add the different pieces just to give it a little bit of extra. That may work up there. I'm afraid these pieces might be too big, so I think I'm gonna go with the white up here on the top, and I kind of like the Christmas tree for that one. I'm sort of thinking these pieces are gonna be too big for this one, so I'm gonna put these aside for another project. And I don't think I need the blue there. So here's where we need our hot glue. I'm gonna pull this in and just put a little bit of hot glue on the back of this piece. And then we'll just plop it into place. That works nice. And then let's flip this over with the snowflake. I'm just gonna need to put it right in the middle. I like this solid white on here. I think that really shows up. And get all our hot glue strings, and that is the other little paperclip charm. To put together the next little banner clip, I have chosen something a little bit different from this style right here, but if you do like this, these little poinsettia flowers, I made these with a die, and I will put the link to that below. This little Christmas image came from a printable from Creative Fabrica. And then right back here, I have it's originally a sticker that I placed on cardstock and then cut out. I like to use that technique, and I'm gonna be doing some of those in an upcoming video because I think that's nice to have on hand. I love stickers, but I also like to have the little bit of thickness that cardstock will give us. Now for that particular one, the paper that I used was one that I got after Christmas last year from Joann's, which is no longer open, but it was this pack from Everett Road, and it had the matching solids, but I used this plaid down here. So this was a great find. I'm glad that I ended up getting that. For this one, I just had a scrap sheet of paper, and that's what's so great about these, that you can just grab some scraps. Now, it is 1.5 inches thick. I think I start off, it's the 1.5 across here, but it's 2.5 in length, but I'm gonna use a punch to get that little banner punch. But this is real easy to do when you have this strip. You decide again, like I had talked about, which way you want your paper clip to work. This one's gonna slide in from the left, but if you want it to slide in from the right, which is what we'll do on this one, we want the two to be on this left side. And so then we're just gonna slide this in here. And a lot of this, I just eyeball the length that I want. I wanna go wherever I want. I'm gonna make this the length here. I'm just gonna fold over. And when I fold it over, I want to kind of pull on that paper clip to line everything up good, because just like we had with our other one, I'd rather not have any of the white showing through on either side. Okay, so this is what I have as my extra overhang. I'm just going, actually I think I want to pull it down just a little bit more, and because that's on the back, it's not going to show. Okay, I'm just going to fold it down and really try to put that fold there, and I've got it even. And now that I have it lined up, I've got a little bit of extra scrap that I'm going to just trim off right there. Now the next step is I like to either glue this together, which we can do, or I'm going to use my tape runner. So I'm just going to apply the tape runner, and I'm going to make sure I get it at all the different angles, even across here. I'm going to do some punching in just a moment. And when we're ready, we'll place that down and really fold that. And this is going to be our start of our clip. Let me grab my punch. This is a punch I got from Stampin' Up! Several years ago. You may have a punch or a die, some sort of thing that you can use to make that banner, or you can just trim it out yourself. Okay, look, this one fits almost perfectly within those lines, but I always like to turn it over and make sure I'm as close to in the middle of getting it, and then we just chomp it out, and there is my little banner. I've got some little ephemera pieces that we can use. Like I had talked about earlier, I have taken some stickers and I have put them on white cardstock, and then I like to trim them out. Or look, in fact, in these, it wasn't just the white cardstock. I use paper that like stickers come on, or paper pads. They're a little bit thicker than regular cardstock, so it's making these a little bit thicker. So I need to get that box out. I had that previously, and so I had done these like that. So I've got these options. I don't know, I kind of want them to hang off, but I still want that to show. These may almost be too big. That one's not bad. And then I wanted to use some kind of sentiment, and I had these cute little words that were on the back side of a sheet of scrap paper that I had. So let's see which one we want to use. I think I'm gonna go, I like this one that says holiday cheer, but is that gonna be too light? Let's go with the mistletoe kisses. I'm gonna have to trim that out a little bit better. I might should have used my trimmer with that. Got that, that's a little bit better. And we wanna keep these for another project. Set all these aside. And let's see, we may put this here and run that across. I have this little gift. I don't know if that's gonna work. I think I'm gonna leave. I think I'm gonna do just something like that. So to get this effect, I think this is thick enough that it stands up nicely. I'm gonna use my tape runner, and we'll put that on here, kind of there. I like when it kind of hangs off a little bit. I like this sticker. It's one of those little shiny ones. For our sentiment, the mistletoe kisses, I'm gonna put some little foam pieces on the back to pop these up just a little bit. And you can decorate these for your theme however you want. And I'm thinking I was gonna kind of hang it off. I may need to move that. Yep, I'm gonna need to move this over just a little bit. Let me scoot it over. I didn't consider that. There we go. Mistletoe kisses. I've got this little bottle of diamond stickles. And let's see, where could we add? I may just do some little spots around here and on the sentiment itself. And we'll see what that looks like when it dries. This last clip is probably the easiest. You just have to decide which charms you're going to use. So I'm opening up my charm container, and I have these different ones that we could possibly use. Here's where I got all of the little bells that I've got, and those come in the red and the green, but I think I also had these kits that I had gotten from Michael's where these come. I also have a couple of silver and gold. But let's do something a little different. I also like these little Christmas lights. And again, I was at Hobby Lobby, like I said, today. And I know I saw these there. These are the larger ones. But I also, well, I say that it was the larger ones. It could have been the smaller ones I had. For this project, I think I want to use the smaller ones. And as you can tell, I've got some of the glitter. And then these. Now, I used 5 bells. So let's go with 5 of the little lights. And I think I've got 4 main colors. We'll have to repeat 1. Or should we put a mix? I think we'll go with that. I'll repeat with the red. And now this is so easy, especially, well, if you have charms that already have the rings on them, or just at least something that you can string onto your clip. And like we did on the previous one, this clip goes in from the right. So let's make this next one to go in from the left. And so I'm gonna have here the top piece is going to be on the top, that one piece there. And then I'm gonna just start stringing these on. This is not gonna take any time at all. I'm gonna do a red, then green, then we'll do the blue. This is so easy here. And we'll finish up with the red. And so we have these cute little charms that we've made with our paper clips. So these are the clips that we've made in today's video. These are super easy to make. Once you get all your supplies together and decide what to do, you can put these together in no time. Then we are able to attach them to our books, journals, planners, cards, whatever it is you want. So get started making these today so that you will have them ready as the holiday season gets into full swing.